Summer Footy Show, the spring edition. We're looking for a new name desperately. My name's Alicia. I have Zarlie Goldsworthy here, who's come back for a second week despite saying she was never coming back. And thank goodness we have someone that actually knows what they're doing in podcast land. Chloe Dalton, welcome back. Over to you now.
I'm taking over the reins. I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling very nervous. I didn't know if Zarlie was going to rock up for round 2 of the podcast.
Yeah, I think it was put in the contract somewhere, so I got no choice, unfortunately. So, yeah, you're stuck with me for another week at least until I can figure out how to break that.
Yeah, we actually would love some submissions for name of the podcast. Summer Footy Show Spring Edition is...
No.
It lacks.
It needs work.
It lacks something.
It needs work.
Things that rhyme are usually fun.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yep, things that rhyme and potentially something to do with all three of us.
We could go Goldie's Giant podcast.
No. Or maybe used to, and then like whenever I come on for the odd week,
No,
we could change it up.
It's if you go week 1 and 2, you can't then go odd week. By coming today, you're locked in.
She's making out like she doesn't enjoy this. But here we are. You're back, week 2. I think she must have had some good feedback from her family in Albury.
Yeah, they sent it in, told me what to do and what not to do and make sure to always give them a shout out.
Did you get any constructive criticism?
Yeah, there was a bit. My auntie actually works in radio, so...
See, I told you.
What do you need to improve on?
She said that I speak very well and she can't get enough of my voice. However, just to slow down and really think about what you say.
I like it. That's great.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
dulcet tones
she's not
of
wrong.
Zarlie
Dulcet tones.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
That you need to slow down.
Yeah, slow down because I tend to rush and... Maybe when I go a bit off tangent and can't link it back to the question, I start throwing in words that are too big for my vocabulary. And I don't know what they mean and I can't pronounce it. And, oh, God, it goes into shambles. Anytime I'm interviewed, it does. So.
I think you're speaking at a nice pace. I think you've taken the constructive feedback on board well.
Well, I'm probably not as nervous for an interview as I am right now. I'm not really nervous here.
Low key.
Yeah, it's pretty low key here.
Pretty D grade host.
I mean, like, really, if I talk bad, like, am I going to get off the show or something? Like,
No, we desperately need you on this show, so keep coming in. Where do we go? Where do we go now?
Where do we go? Do we want to chat about the weekend, the game against Richmond?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Start us off, Alicia.
Okay, so we're celebrating Haneen's Rika's 50th game. We'll start there. And what an amazing player she's been for our club, first and foremost. So a big theme for us going into round 2 was around, I guess, what Haneen exemplifies, which is pressure. And when you Richmond, we're going to put a heap of pressure on us. And I think in the first quarter we created opportunities. We just didn't take them in front of goal. So...
Yeah.
That was probably the story of the first quarter. Second quarter, we probably didn't get our game going after half time when we really spoke about what we needed to do and how we needed to move the ball. And I think it probably helped with this one, spending a little bit more time on ball. We started playing the way that we wanted to. And, unfortunately, we left our run a little bit too late. Thoughts, Zarlie?
Yeah, I think you summed it up pretty well. I think that we had the opportunities and we were creating them. It was just unfortunate that whenever it was kind of stuck down our half for like 5 minutes, it would switch up the other end and they would convert straight away. So I guess it's just capitalising on those opportunities is a big thing where it's almost like each year we're getting further down the field with them. We just got to get that final link up with either a forward or a mid and hopefully lead to a goal.
What did it look like? Actually, we need to stop. We've got you back. It'd be great for you to explain to our thousands of listeners where you've been, Dalton, and what's been going on for you and why we're not seeing you run around at the moment.
Yeah, so unfortunately the week of round 1 I went in for back surgery, so I had a bulging disc in my back, or as Tony Armstrong would call it, a bulging dick. Have you seen the video?
Yes, I have seen.
I had a bulging disc in my back at L5-S1, so was getting a fair bit of nerve pain referring down my leg and wasn't able to train for a number of weeks. And it just got to the point where I couldn't train and play footy, but I actually just couldn't get through daily life without being in a really significant amount of pain. So we made the call with the medical team that needed to go in for surgery, which was pretty devastating and pretty hard to come to terms with the fact that that meant season is done. I think I've been a little bit in denial. I don't really think I processed a lot of the emotions. I think even throughout the whole process, I haven't talked to a lot of people about it, like even with like family and friends. Like I kind of had people who had no idea that I was injured because I just didn't feel up for talking about it. But I probably need to at some point. So today's my first day back in at the club, 2 weeks post-op. All went really well. Surgeon was really happy with it. Walking around without having a lot of pain, which is really lovely. Just pretty low-key for a number of weeks. Going out for my rehab is walking.
Wow.
So getting out, walking around the block. Yeah. It's about it at the moment. Yeah, but it's nice to be pain-free.
And I mean, we were here early days when you started experiencing some of your symptoms. What were some of those symptoms that you had that, like, just explain to some people? Like, it's not just back pain. I know that they were pretty gnarly.
Yeah, so it was when you've got the bulging disc that presses on the nerve, you can get referred pain down the back of your leg or wherever it is. And for me, I had heaps of pain in my calf. So I couldn't actually stand for more than 5 or 10 minutes without getting this horrible, like almost burning or sharp pain in my calf. And so I'd be coming in, lying down on the ground in team meetings or lying on the couch, and I couldn't even, like, I started being able to do a couple of laps of walking around the ground, and then after that I'd do about 1 lap and I'd be in pain just from walking around. Sitting wasn't overly comfortable. So it was a pretty horrible experience. And I had that moment when I woke up from surgery and the first time I got up and about and was moving around with all of the 80-year-olds that I was probably on the ward with. I couldn't believe that I was pain-free. Yeah. And I was like, I think that was the right decision, unfortunately, that it had to be surgery. I really did not want surgery, but I think it was the right decision.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
I think it was really tough. Like, you're not exaggerating when you say that. Like, team meetings, dolts would be lying down in the corner of the room, which, you know, you're not used to seeing that in a sporting environment where, you know, people come in and they've got ankles or they've got, you know, bits and pieces. But I think when you understand that this is having a far-reaching impact on quality of life at the age of how old you are, 30 or something. Yeah. It's pretty important in terms of what we do now. And yes, we want to get you back playing the game, but it's good to see just your quality of life improve post-surgery. So
yeah, thank you. Yeah, because that was the thing that I was like, when it started impacting me. And I think being in pain that much impacts your mental health quite heavily as well, to just be in constant pain. It's not a good way to live life.
Yeah, pretty ugly.
Pretty ugly. But I get to watch the Giants from my couch these days. So don't you worry, I've been yelling at my TV a lot. So the game on the weekend, I think you were saying, what did it look like from a spectator's perspective? It looked like Richmond came out with a lot of pressure off the back of that loss to West Coast, which I think you guys would have chatted about, that you knew that was coming. And I think we seemed a bit slow to adapt to that level of pressure almost. And I think I don't know how much of an influence the wind played in the game, but it seemed like it got stuck a lot on the boundary and down that wing. And it didn't seem like we were playing our game first half, but I thought second half very much looked like a Giants game. Just felt a little bit too late.
I think that was the sentiment for us. Yeah. That was the feeling. And we don't want to get stuck in the conditions have been tough the last few weeks in terms of a breeze going fairly strongly across the ground. But we've got to adapt to that, and I think that comes with maturity, and that's what our supporters would want to see us do: adapt and play the game, play the game that we want to play, irrespective of conditions. So, I mean, we have to change a few things, but I think once we got that going in the second half, some of that run and carry, it opened up opportunities for us to score, probably in better positions on the ground. So,
yeah, and I think that it's about competing for all 4 quarters. I mean, it definitely gives us confidence that obviously the game against the Bulldogs, we probably did it for the last half, and same again with Richmond. But for the better teams, it's got to be more than a half. It's got to be 3, if not 4. But the only thing that I think we can take a bit of positive out of it is that we did come back and showed a bit of spirit, a bit of fight, which I think I said that in the past, sometimes we may have just dropped off or shied away from the contest or gone back to kicking long down the line, and it's just not the way we want to play and not the way we want to set ourselves up.
Yeah, I agree. Did show a good fight in that second half. Did you have a player of the match? A Giants legend, are we calling them?
Teammate. Was it teammate of the week or
legend teammate of the week? Or Who is the
is it
teammate
both?
of the week?
Teammate of the week, yeah. Oh, sorry, I wasn't here for week 1. A bit rusty.
Well, teammate of the week, we gave a special mention to. We should give a special mention to Haneen, game 50. I'm going to give a nomination to Claire Ransom.
yeah.
I stole it. I stole it again.
That's a great shout.
Yeah. Claire had a pretty specific role to run around on Monconti, who was arguably one of the, last year she was the best player in the competition, and to just impact her game. And I think a player like Monconti is always going to find the footy, so it's about, I guess, affecting how she disposes of the ball or limiting her impact across the ground. I think she did that really well, as did you, Zarlie, at stoppages. So, but for Claire, like even on the ground, even out there, she was constantly talking, and if she got caught out of position, she was communicating to make sure someone covered for her. And she just stayed switched on the whole game. So she's my teammate of the week. What about you, Zals?
Well, she was going to be mine, especially considering I think that she said that was only her 4th game.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's a big job to take on for game 4.
Oh, definitely. My teammate of the week is probably Alicia.
Yeah. She's been good.
That double hand bounce is iconic.
Oh my gosh. I think she's kind of the little spark that we needed, and she was kind of the one that got us back into Giants game. And it's almost perfect that she hasn't had a game plan before this coming to the Giants system, that she's got nothing to kind of know old habits to fall back on.
Yeah.
So she only knows one way, and that's like to go to goal and as fast as she can, and it kind of brings teammates along with her.
You got to go along with her.
Yeah, true.
Like, she just runs. So you gotta run.
I've never seen anything like it. Like the height she is, and to just not even to be so fast that we can't even keep up with it. Like some of the fastest on our team. Like it's crazy.
Well, she may have broken another record.
Oh,
So we know. Well, it's not an official record by AFLW record standards, but I know that she's on Fox Footy tonight after playing 2 games.
well, she's
I feel like
kept
that could be
under wraps.
I know, and
Wow.
I think that could be a record. She's played two games, and she's already getting the call up to appear on Fox Footy. So
That's
Wow.
gotta be a record. That round 1 goal. How
know.
could you not be on Fox Footy after that?
I know it's
True,
going to be
true.
the quickest call up. But I think that's a good shout for teammate of the week.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, there you go. She's breaking records every week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming she's on Fox Footy because she's just come out of nowhere, and I mean, it's cool. Like working with the men's program, I walked in today and was chatting to a number of the different players who watch the game, and they were saying, "Wow, like Alicia O'Dowd, like where has she come from?"
Yeah.
And just her ability to break the game open, and that's what I love about the Irish players that are playing AFLW. They're just so explosive. Like
No fear.
No fear.
fear.
And maybe it's the Gaelic way where you don't take a mark and get back off the mark and slow the game up. You just get it and go. And I know that's what Cora did. That's what Bonner did. That's what Stacky did. And we're seeing that with Ailish. And we see that with the Irish across the competition. But it's such an exciting way of playing the game, and it breaks the game open. So, yeah, good to see her just dominate in game 2.
Yeah. It's
Absolutely.
a very attacking style of footy, the Irish,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
How good.
They don't know no backwards.
No backward steps, forward only to the goals. I was a bit like that when I came across from sevens originally. Actually, I was forwards only.
Break lines.
I'm
That's
still
we
a bit
miss.
forwards only, but
Nothing wrong with that, I guess.
I don't really get to pick a teammate of the week because I wasn't on the ground. But I do think, Alicia, Eva, your goal was a real momentum shifter for me. Like I think we needed to nail one, and I feel like that was a big moment of bringing people along with you.
Definitely. And I think too, like up at that end, I don't think there'd been many goals kicked that at that end, and that was probably one thing that really just settled us after half time. It was a bit of reward for effort, if you will.
I like it.
Well, I celebrated like a mad woman. So
As we all do.
as we all do. So I'm just trying to follow your lead because this is a great segue into an unofficial section of this podcast, or what's section? That's not the word.
Segment?
A segment. After it's Zarlie's goal celebrations. Last week, what did you do last week? You did something last week.
No, I think I was pretty tame last week.
Or someone asked
I'm
you.
trying to picture last week's one.
Someone
was
asked
pretty
you, do you
tame.
plan them?
Yeah, and I just said no.
And you said no. But this week you kicked a goal, and again, there was a bit of bitter lip with the Richmond faithful. Do you want to talk us through that one?
Well, again, it's just I did not think when I took that mark, am I going to turn around to the crowd and give them what for. But I guess as I was walking in, I had a few colourful comments from the crowd. So I thought, well, if I sail this one over the goal umpire's head, I'm giving it back, which I think is fair enough. If you're it's open communication. Like
two ways.
It's two, yeah. Yeah, if you're happy to yell over the sideline and sit there drinking your beer, then I'm exactly in my rights to sail it over the goal umpire's head and turn around and
I'm all for it, because I said to Zarlie before, what I love about it is that she goes back, kicks the goal, and then she continues to perform. She doesn't then have a bit of lip and then go into a shell. So I'm all for it. I think it ignites the crowd. It's what people come to the footy to see. A bit of banter.
Well, like as a spectator, I know exactly what they're doing because I do it too when I go watch the footy, and I would be perfectly fine if I was giving lip to a player walking in for a set shot and they turn around and give it back. I'm like, that is fair enough.
Fair enough. I hope there's footage somewhere of you at an AFL game. I'm going to go a Hawthorn game, of you just yelling it over the fence.
Yeah, I did want to ask, how are you feeling about the Hawks celebrations these days? Are you a fan?
Big fan. Big fan.
Of Sellies.
Because they back it up. They can do whatever they want.
That's what I'm saying. That's what you do.
They can do whatever they want if they back it up. And honestly, it's bringing a bit of entertainment to the game.
What about the wizard hat?
I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that too. I am a little bit worried that maybe they enjoyed it a bit too much. But hey, if they go into Adelaide and beat them, then go for it. Do whatever you want. I love how Sam Mitchell's also coaching them. Just the Gen Z these days just let them do what they want. Let Guinea go to the pub the night before. Fair enough.
Like Guinea's Instagram comment. Do you
Oh,
think he's gone too far on that one?
I was actually talking to Nick Barr today about it because she sent it to me, and Paul Roos had something to say. And I think like I can see both sides to it, but like and I was thinking this, like if a teammate of mine did it, I wouldn't care. Like, because the only thing the media was worried about was this time it does include his teammates. Like, can they back it up? But I thought, if my teammate did that, fair enough.
I think the only thing is it could age badly.
It could,
they lose, but
definitely. But I think that's on him. It's on him. Like, if we did that, say if we were in finals and Alicia, you posted something like that, and then we lost, I wouldn't be hiding in my shell thinking, why did Alicia post that? Oh my God.
If only she didn't.
Oh, if only she didn't. Like, you just got to walk the walk and talk the talk, I guess.
Yeah, he will only get slaughtered in social media terms.
Yeah.
He's not gonna impact the way they play footy, right? If they lose, he'll just get slaughtered on socials.
Yeah. And then he'll just go over to Bali, and then that'll be that. He'll say, see you next season.
True. Very true.
Looking ahead to this weekend's game against the Gold Coast, back at beautiful Manuka Oval.
Yes. Sunday, 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock?
Yep. It's going to be nice and fresh, apparently.
13 degrees.
Jumpers and jackets on the bench, I've heard.
I don't think I have a long sleeve jumper available. Do you?
No.
I tried. You're a bit late.
I tried, but I put my order in a bit too late.
No.
See, I'm a small forward these days, so I'm wanting a long sleeve jumper.
That is bad.
No, I don't have a long sleeve jumper.
Alicia either can't wear a jumper because you didn't order it quick enough.
Cotton On, if you're listening, can you just send me one? No. Going to brave the cold. We love Canberra. 5 o'clock Sunday against Gold Coast. Mm-hmm. And I think last time we played the Gold Coast, we underperformed. And I think that was really disappointing. It left a very disappointing taste in our mouths after that game last year. Yeah. So I think we'll probably revisit a bit of that. But looking forward to – I love playing with Monica. I think
suits us very well.
Suits us. And hopefully get another good crowd like we had a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it'll be a bit different this week. Richmond, I felt it was kind of two very similar game styles going up against each other, whereas I think Gold Coast are a very contested ball-winning team, and they'll win it on the inside and keep it on the inside, whereas we kind of win on the inside, get it to the outside. So I think, it'll definitely be a challenge, but a bit different than last week, so that's good.
Charlie Rowbottom. is one that we're going to have to do our homework on. And then Claudia Whitford, they're a good 1-2 punch.
Oh, definitely. So strong.
So strong. So strong.
I think she's like only a year older than me, but oh man, she is so strong.
So strong.
I
Hang
remember.
on, does that mean that I should be stronger than her if I'm like 15 years older than her?
Strength is age, ladies.
Well,
Nothing to do with
I just remember last year, like when I walked up to her at the CB and I kind of was looking across and it honestly felt like I was going like, oh my gosh, she was so tall, so strong, like
Yeah.
bit intimidating.
But I think what we've shown this year so far this year is that we've got depth in our midfield. Or we've drafted really well, brought some new players in with different attributes and different skill sets, and it's enabled Burner to probably move some pieces around a little bit. Yeah. So we'll do our homework and
we're not your typical midfield, are we? Like we're just different, bit different in there.
Chop and change a bit, and then when Zarlie gets bored up forward, she just puts her hand up and then rolls in. And you know.
Or if I'm too tired, I'm just like, I'm going full forward. See you, lads.
I'm going to go kick my 4 now.
Get a few 50s, go kick 4.
I love you in this podcast. It's a great addition.
If you're coming back week 3, I don't care what you say about it.
There'll have to be an incentive, I think. What's the incentive?
A financial incentive? Or?
No, it doesn't have to be financial. You girls just might have to think of something.
All right, I'll think about it. I don't know how you're in the power seat these days. This is a real honour for you to have the opportunity to be here.
I'm waiting for the little cartoon Zarlie face.
It's on there,
Is it?
Or
I
is
thought it was
a real face.
It was a cartoon of you and I, and then
a real face of Zarlie.
Yeah,
was it?
I think so.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
I'd like to see a little cartoon Zarlie. Let's get it happening. Jacob, Will,
At Jacob.
at Zelly,
Was it only
at
on
Laura.
stories or was it on the grid?
Well, we've got to make that happen, because now you're a permanent part of the podcast. So now, is there any other topic that you would like to talk about, Zarlie, in relation to AFLW?
Interesting topic in AFLW for the first time this season has been used in VFL in the past.
Yeah.
They trialled it, I think, in VFL.
Yeah, I think they trialled it in men and women, I'm pretty sure.
The new technology in the ball. So in the men, they've got the arc. So every time there's contention about whether it's goal behind, touched, they'll go and have a look and determine what has actually happened.
Yep.
In AFLW, because we often play on community grounds, they don't have technology and or financials to implement the technology at every single ground that we play at. So they've introduced this really cool chip where it's inside the ball and can help to determine if it's goal behind, touched off the boot. They're kind of the main ones around goals, aren't they?
Yeah. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Good. I think it's a perfect example of not having to copy and paste the men's game to the women's game and using technology in a very positive way.
I love the idea. I think, I mean, what we've been saying too as players is we don't want a game going down to a call that could have been this or that, and we don't have the technology to review it. And particularly because in a shortened season, like to lose a game by a point, potentially could have been a goal. Yeah. It's pretty rough in an 11-game season when every game is so important. So I think something was required. And, I think this is a perfect solution. And we trialled the chip footies here during preseason training. I don't think any of us picked up on it.
Could you tell? I was in training at that point. Could you tell there was, like, it can't weigh that much, can it?
Well,
this is
I
news to
personally,
me.
so it's,
No,
who was using this? Where was this going?
Burner said it one night. He said the footies that had the little stars on them were the ones that had the chip in it.
And we were none the wiser. Why the footies had stars on them. I was like, whose club did we get these footies from? That makes so much.
These poor kids don't have footies at training.
Who are the stars?
Wow. Okay,
so
that's news.
they were the chip footies, and they didn't feel heavier. I think that's what people were saying, that the ball is like slightly heavier, but most of our footies get waterlogged anyway, so I didn't tell the difference.
So true.
Yeah.
Have you thrown yourself under the bus for not listening to Burner saying about the footies with the stars?
Did he say this?
He did. Zarlie sits in the back row, so she's one of the naughty kids that probably is whispering away to Braz.
Well, Chloe Dalton used to be at the back row, but unfortunately she is now. Where would you sit now?
That I'm upright again, I might be back.
Oh, she might make her trip up to the back row.
Wait, I've been counting.
What's the opposite of like the walk of shame? The walk of fame? Well, like to clap
Walk of
you
Fame back
along.
up.
Slow clap back up, please. I'm here for that. Gosh, I can't wait. I'm so glad I came back to training for that.
Today.
Yes, I know
It's gonna
we've
happen
been
today.
missing you out back there.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. Pleasure to be here.
But no, I think that a lot of people were saying with the chip ball was that they would like a bit of graphic when the umpires, when the umpires were reaching their decision, which I think is a good idea because we don't know what they see. It would be nice to.
It felt a bit, as a spectator, it felt a bit awkward. We didn't hear a lot or see a lot. It was just kind of like a pause in the game. And I think when it's a goal or a behind, like there's the hype of it.
Yeah.
I think like bring in a sponsor. You could sell that as
Yeah.
a sponsor segment.
Harvey
easily.
Norman.
Harvey
Norman.
Where you at, Harvey? Like, yeah, it was a bit of a miss, but I think definitely work on. Great technology, but I agree on that work on. Bit boring when it was happening.
Yeah.
Give me some hype on the screen.
Yeah. Even at the game, like I would like to watch it as a player.
Yeah, fair.
I want to see if it's a goal or not, or how they come to that conclusion.
Great. Sunday Arvo, 5 p.m, Monica Oval. See you there.
See you
See you
there.
there.
After a Saturday Giants win against the Brisbane Lions. The boys, of course.
How good.
How awesome it would have been if the fixturing worked out this way, but if we had played on Saturday as well. Bummer. But that's okay. Giants fans can be in Sydney on Saturday and be in Canberra on Sunday.
Perfect. It's a perfect weekend.
After an
Yeah.
AFL win.
What else would they have to do? Like, come watch us. We always give you a good time. We always keep you on the edge of your seats. Whether it's good or bad.
Zarlie will have a chat with you over the fence.
Zarlie believes in two-way communication.
Open dialogue.
Open dialogue. Come along. We can have a chat.
She'll speak slow and she won't use big words either, so you can
Yes.
all understand.
Yes. And it's repeating the same word over and over again.
Monica.
See you next week.
See you guys.
Peace.
Go the Giants.